Government and the public sector are meeting at the Education Week Convention and Learning Expo to discuss the problems South African schools are facing. 1,000 education experts are expected to attend the event, and technology in education will enjoy a strong focus at the country's largest education event. Joining us live in studio now is Michael Stevenson, Vice President of Education at Cisco. Michael, thank you so much for coming into studio this afternoon. We've heard a lot about this phrase, the classroom of the 21st century, and that's something that you are showcasing at this event. What exactly does it mean?
Well, for 150 years or so, classrooms look pretty much the same they always did. But I think the 21st century classroom looks really different. Of course, it's got computers in it, but not just computers, devices of every sort. iPods, iPhones, what have you. It's also, I think, probably got some tools in it which are supported by the internet. Collaboration tools, communication tools, but above all, it's using video. It's using video to come in to bring outside experts in, new teachers, digital assets, so the whole experience, if it works, should be very, very different indeed in terms of the teaching and learning that the children experience.
What we're struggling with in this country particularly are basics like reading and writing. Is the technology going to solve such fundamental problems with our education system?
If I'm absolutely honest with you, I think the claims have been overmade for technology for a number of years. But I think what's now happening is that the new technologies, collaboration, communication, video, do support a new kind of teaching and learning, particularly a kind of teaching and learning which allows students to solve real-world problems that they probably get more excited about in teams, working on a project over 6 weeks. Can the technology also help children address the fundamental issues of mathematics, numeracy? I think it can. I think it can engage them. I think it can stimulate them with great materials on the whiteboard. But does it actually transform their teaching and learning? Probably not. The transformation comes in how technology supports the new kinds of teaching and learning. As I say, the problem solving, working in teams.
So we're looking at moving away from the sort of parrot fashion nature of learning, as it is in many primary schools, to a more open sort of paradigm shift, a paradigm set that you would find maybe in tertiary education?
I think you might, though one of the things I see is innovative practices in primary and secondary education that maybe I don't always see in the best universities. Best universities can be very traditional and like to stick with the way they do it. But this is certainly a paradigm shift that takes us away from some teacher at the front wagging a finger at 30 students as if they were all exactly the same, and uses technology really to address each child according to their own learning needs and type, and to help them develop new skills which will be really valuable in 21st century jobs, whether it's being an executive for a global technology company or handling the demands of being a current affairs presenter in a television show.
Michael, you know, in this country we're also struggling with teacher training. How easy is it going to be to upskill large numbers of teachers in how to use this kind of equipment?
We've experienced around the world in doing just that. I'm currently working in Australia, China, Mexico, the USA, and we've had a great deal of success in upskilling teachers. I think the critical thing is not just to give them shiny kit, plonk it on their desk and say switch it on and go. You've got to help them integrate it into the way that they teach. It's got to be part of the way they think about their everyday job, not something that's flown in to transform them overnight. But if you can find the partners, the ecosystem of partners, expert in teacher training, who can work alongside the technology companies and the teachers, you can make a transformational difference to the people who, after all, are the core of this, which is the teacher.
It all sounds very expensive, though.
It doesn't have to be expensive, but it does need to be thoughtfully and systematically planned. And one of the ways in which this has gone wrong is when the individual school or college or university has set out to buy at some cost fancy technology to transform what they do. This needs to be thought about at scale by ministers, decision makers, system educators, university vice presidents who can get the right kind of technology right across their organizations, and then the economics begin to stack up.
Very interesting, Michael. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Michael Stevenson, Vice President of Education from Cisco, talking to us about the classroom of the 21st century that's rather different, I suspect, from the one most of us experienced growing up. Well, still ahead on the E! News channel, why a construction